Hold on. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Sorry about that. That was Twitch was having problems, but it looks like we are now okay. Yeah, it wasn't, for some reason it wasn't letting me connect, which was really annoying. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let everyone know we are now. I was going to apologize, but that was Twitch's fault. So we are all good. All right, cool. So let's go back to the Redux level, the sandbox level that we've been working on. Right, so yeah, so some of the tools that Chris is still working on. Actually, I need to. Hey, X Tyler, 73. Yeah, we still need to have Chris fix the editor, the issue with the lines, because right now the problem. Yep, test runner. Yeah, we finally got it fixed. So basically, the problem is that the door. It's still not showing the green lines, which is when you have the doors connected to the line managers. Like, it does it when I assign it, but I do need it to show up right away. Otherwise, it sort of defeats its purpose. The whole point of having these lines is so that, like, a quick glance over the level, I can see exactly what's connected and what isn't. So not having them show up immediately is not super helpful. Right, so Chris is working on some other things, and today I've just actually been working on a blog post. I'd love to show it to you guys, but I can't because it has sensitive information regarding new name. However, I do want to talk about like, you know, one of the examples I'm thinking of giving is working on a 3 tour. So I'm having Chris make an animation based on this, because what I want to do is explain. Yeah, and I'd love to hear if you guys have any thoughts on this, suggestions. Basically, I want to use we're gonna create a GIF animation of asteroids showing like 2D screen wrapping. Let me just find that image. Man, Photoshop is so slow. Ooh. Okay, there was nothing to see there. space background. Yeah, so this is, I'm just going to use an image like this. So the idea is that we would actually combine it with this and have it animated to show that it's on the surface. Like that basically 2D screen wrapping is occurring basically on a on the surface of a plane, and then what's going on is we're basically gluing the sides together. So we're gluing the top and bottom, which will allow it to connect in this axis, and then we show that we glue the other sides here, which forms the other axis. So that basically when this is, even though this just looks like, what we see is a 2D plane in which they're screen wrapped. You know, what that shape is actually a torus. So, oh yeah, I guess this is huh. I guess they kind of have it here too. Yeah, we're basically sort of making this like an actual animation. X Tyler, there is, yeah, right. So it wraps around the tops and sides. There is not going to be a swastika in the game, and we're not going to talk about it in the chat anymore. So that chapter is closed. We're not going to discuss it anymore. So, yeah, so because basically what I want people to understand is that this is the 2D version, and then we're moving, like, when you want to think of what's going on in this game, we are basically doing the 3D version of it. So, like, in 2D screen wrapping, you are a 2D being on the surface of a 3D donut, and then in Relativity, you are a 3D being on the surface of a 4-dimensional donut. And I'm gonna have a friend. Yeah, well, we're not gonna have hate symbols in the game, or in the chat. So, but yeah, the idea is also let me see here. Yeah, so anyway, this is the, yeah, you're a 3D being on the surface of a 4D donut. And oh, I am gonna have my college roommate is actually a professional mathematician, and who's actually specializes in 4D math. So what I'd like to do is actually what I'm actually going to do is have him read over the blog post before it goes out, just so that it's actually mathematically correct. We're not going to, like, obviously it's not going to be like a math paper or anything, but it's important to have, yeah, like it's going to be a kind of like a layperson's take on the subject, because, you know, he would, like, when you talk about a donut, that's actually a 2D torus, a 2 torus, but that sort of, I think 4-dimensional donut is gonna be a lot easier for people to imagine as opposed to 3 torus. So, but yeah, anyway, and Chris has also started working on the interlockables. I don't know if we can visualize them yet. Okay, they're still broken. But one of the things I think Chris has done that I want to show you guys . Right, so like Chris is starting to work on the animation in Maya. This is with the torus. The other thing is, this is kind of what we are doing with the, well, wow, this is a really blurry picture, but basically what, yeah, eventually all of these are going to be, this is what the interlockables are going to look like. We're sticking with the gradient, we're going to use smaller arrows up top. This was actually based on a suggestion from someone on the devlog. It is a little bit, I think we probably might want to play around with these arrows a little more. I'm not sure how I feel. Like, I think we can either go with have it match the arrows on the cubes, so that there's like consistency across everything. I think there also needs to be an outline where the white is. Yeah, like I really want right now. This doesn't feel like it's in the same universe as the cubes. Actually, you know what? This reminds me, maybe. Because now I'm wondering if, now that I think about it, in terms of talking about consistency of visual design, I think these double gravity cubes should actually maybe be gradient as well. Actually, that's a good, that would be a good notes for Chris. Double gravity cubes use gradient as well. In fact, I think that's actually what we should do, because that would mean a much more consistent art style. Yeah. So the idea is that you can head in one direction and you end up where you started. Anyone? Yes, exactly. And actually, that's like not even. One of the things that I realized is, so this is actually a really, if any of you are interested, Jeffrey Weeks. No, wait, Taurus Games. By the way, Jeffrey Weeks, he is the author of this book, The Shape of Space. And actually, he's gotten a bunch of no, so he's got a bunch of so this is a book that talks a lot about these kinds of geometry, and like, to answer Test Runner's question, you don't always end up, if you head in one direction, you don't necessarily end up directly where you were originally before. That's actually what works in a that works in a 3-torus. So this is a 3-torus, right? This is a very standard where everything, you can see it's all in the same iteration. If we look at it from the visual of this cube, when this comes down, it comes back in, right? When it comes out from here, likewise. Some of these puzzles are not. So this is a game where you're supposed to solve this maze. But yeah, anyway, you can see this is always lined up correctly. But what you could have is this is a solid Klein space. So this is actually a, like a Klein bottle, but in 3D. And what you see here is that this is actually, we actually have it the same thing in one of our levels where we just have the replication offset. So when you come in this way, let me see here. Right, this is all really great because he's got it color coded. Actually, let's do a new maze. Right. Okay. So this is a perfect example, right? You see, going down yellow in here leads you to come out up here, but then these axes are still the same, and so I think that's basically, you basically have it. You just want to think of it like the bottom. I think it's actually helpful not to think of the bottom as being inverted, but as being slightly offset. So instead of having, like in the normal one, you'd have the orange side, orange panel here and the yellow panel here. But what we've done is we've just shifted everything a half unit over. And I think this becomes clear. Or actually, you know what? I think maybe that's not true. Actually, now that I think about it, I may have gotten it wrong. I think a solid Klein bottle actually, I think it actually is inverting it, and not staggering it. So like I was thinking before it would be the geometry was duplicating itself, kind of coming down like this. But you know what? It'd be a lot easier if we had So now I don't know what the word is for what the geometry that we made is called. Right, so I guess the thing is, I thought it was, we were having a geometry where it kind of went down like this, but I think what it actually is more like over here on the right side, where it's actually inverted. Yeah, so I think it's actually, I think this is actually what the solid Klein bottle is. Although that's maybe just the same as the... Okay, see, because now I get confused, because now that seems like what the half bottle... that looks like what the half manifold is. So this is from... you guys can check it out. It's by... it's a series of games by Jeffrey R. Weeks. In fact, if any of you are interested, I recommend this book. It's called The Shape of Space. Jeffrey R. Weeks, he's a mathematician. And if you go to his website, it's geometrygames.org. And he has a number of games that help you visualize this kind of, a lot of the 3D spaces that we're talking about. So he's got a bunch of free games here. It's called, this is called Taurus games. So you can have like tic-tac-toe, where it's, this is to get you understanding the stuff in 2D. You can change the topology of it, so where you have the Klein bottle, etc. The one I'm most interested in is the not so much this maze game, but a lot of the ideas here. So, and what's great is you can view it in Fundamental Cube, as well as so this is what. This is where I'm getting a little bit confused, actually. And if you guys have ideas, I'd love to... Panic. If I'm getting your meaning right, that surface is called the projective plane? Ah, okay. So you're talking about the... I guess, okay, so like I've always thought... I think I understand the half-turn manifold, right? The half-turn manifold means that for the green and yellow surfaces, we are basically doing the same thing. Like we're wrapping it normally. Like, okay, so just to start from it, this is the normal 3 torus, which is basically you glue the top and bottom surface together, the front and back, and the left and right. So if we move down along this axis, we come down exactly from where we are, but on the other side. If for the blue surface, again, if we even moving along this axis, we come out, and likewise with green, simply coming in from going into one side, you come out the opposite side, lined up along the same axis. And this is how the geometry in relativity works. This is the very basic one. It's very easy to understand. It's just 3D screen wrapping. So now I'm trying to. So I've always come to understand. So what I know, half-turn manifold. That's basically when you. So the green side faces, we glue them together. The yellow faces, we glue them together. But what you're doing with the blue face is when you glue the blue faces together, you actually make a twist. So you end up gluing it like this. So there's a 180-degree turn. Okay, so it gets like, so see, this is what happens, right? Now let me see if there's an... Right, so it's like if you go in from the bottom, you come out on the top. Oh, so is a half turn? Oh, because a half turn manifold, everything is inverted. So like, if you are on the bottom, you're ending up on the top, and likewise, if you man, I wish he had more sides going into blue. See, some of these mazes are a little... Oh, you know what? You know what we can do is... Oh, wow, and he has all these different languages, too. He even did localization. It's just the one face that's trying to... Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, I'm just trying to, like... We're trying to figure out exactly how everything works. So, okay, you know what? Let's go with let's do the let's do extra hard just because there's a little. Actually, that's too complex. Let's do hard just so that there's like more pipes, right? Because the idea here is like if you move into blue, right? So if you come down, like if you go in here, we're gonna come out this side. Okay, so it's always the opposite. Whatever was up, now it's on the down, and whatever was right was on the left. Same thing with here, right? It's inverted. So yeah, so that is the Klein bottle. Panic 00 is right, but it's like what? Okay, so now I understand half torus, right? It means like everything is sort of inverted that way. And actually, let's just go back to that one. That means. When we view it in the tiling sphere. Yeah, the thing with this is that it has like some really bizarre UI. Oh, there we go, right. You can like zoom through this. This is basic, well, yeah, it's basically my game. Okay, so right, like you can see that the next iteration over is moving in the opposite direction. Right, you can see all the ones along this panel on the same plane, they're all moving to the right, but then the ones over, that one is moving to the left. Right, it's moving in the opposite direction. And then same thing when I start going up, it goes down. Right, okay, so I understand it's moving in the opposite direction now. If we're looking at Klein space, again, so we have those over. It's like the ones beneath me. You know what? Hold on. Because we can... Let's view it as this fundamental cube. This direction. Oh, you know what? So we're only... I see. So it's like the other one, except we're only inverting it once. Yeah, that's it. So this one is only mirrored, right? So this one is only mirrored once. So it's like it doesn't do the It doesn't do like, see here see it's only inverted left right but not top down, right? Because if this was in the half turn manifold, the blue would come out from there, but instead it's only coming out, it's only getting inverted once, which is interesting. So actually, so it turns out I think the idea that I had was actually okay, so this is which is different still from like this is interesting though, because you would get this exact same problem in if the world was offset like in mine. Like the behavior of this would be the same, because if you had a box coming in, right, like you'd have this little box. Oh, right. So it seems like with the staggering, you're actually none of those shapes. So we actually have something new. I don't know what the name of it is, but when you have it offset, basically what's happening is when you have it come in like this, right, it moves into this next face, which comes down like that. And in this world, that's happening. This is happening the same thing when you invert it. Yeah, so like, okay, so the way, like, okay, so now I figured, so this over here on the right is the solid, is the Klein space, and this over here on the left is like this, like, whatever thing we invented with offset. The problem with, so what I'm saying is inside the world, it would sort of look the same, like if you drop down a box on the right side, it would come back down from the left side. Same thing with this, right, because you can see it's going down into the back of the one, so it's coming back down, so it comes back inverted. The only difference is that whereas in a Klein space, you would actually see the world, you would see these different instances traveling in opposite directions, whereas in the offset space, you wouldn't. It is probably a lot easier to do these things than to understand them. The left one is the same topologically. Yeah. So this one, yes. Panic 00, you're right. What we're doing is we're basically taking the 3 torus and offsetting it. I don't know if it's a. I don't think it's like a Mobius strip though, because we're not. A Mobius strip has the twist. That's really important to it, but we're not. We're just like. It's. I think it's a lot more like, you know, the Mobius strip, I take this and I twist it back around, right? But this one is more like you connect the end of one to the end of another piece. But yeah, I actually don't know. I need to, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna create, I'm gonna send it to my friend who's been working in who's the 4D mathematician. The biggest difference, though, is between my game and Mieke Curie is, well, number one is Mieke Curie actually has 4-dimensional math, whereas I'm actually faking it. I don't actually like. His vectors in the code is actually like has, you know, taken 4 values, whereas mine only taken 3. Yeah, no, we do, like that's how the Stepwell level works, right? Like this is the I see. Hold on. You know what? Let's start this from the beginning. And let's kind of do it. Let's try to do it right, which is we will start with we're gonna make it look like this. Yeah. Alright, so this is our rectangle, and then what I'm going to do is actually just put we're going to put numbers in the corners so we can talk about them a little bit better. One, two, three. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I guess. Brickwork. Yeah, it is like brickwork. Hold on a second. Guys, let me merge all this. So this is our cube. Oops. Right. So when we're doing the offset, it's looking more like this. And let me just build a couple of copies of this. So that just we can better understand kind of what's happening. Right, but in the world where we're doing the client space, I believe it's actually much more like this, inverted. Right, so the image is towards on my back. Control E, control, yeah. Right. Okay, so let's talk about the lines, right? So someone was saying, so if we have the blue line, like what happens is when you draw a blue line from one, okay, right? So if you start in the middle of one and continue down into two, I'm gonna see this happen here, right? It's like it's happening this way. So we're seeing this blue line come in. Now we're seeing the same thing though. If we draw it down into this, we're also gonna see it come down in here. Oh, but I see you're gonna have it inverted, right? So that means because if you do the red 1, 4, that's gonna be like. That's going to come in like this, whereas in here, it's gonna be like that. Right. No, no, no. I'm not saying they're the same as right. I'm saying like it's confusing in here. Right. I'm not saying that it's the same as right. I'm just saying that it's confusing in here because you can't see the way the sphere is coming out. You're not seeing the orientation of the sphere itself. So it's like I think it was a medic who suggested drawing two lines. It's like without drawing the two colored lines, if you just have the blue line, it looks the same, right? Because it's like the blue line, if you drop it from 1 to 4, it looks like it comes back down closer to 2. But when you do this, you realize it's actually we're actually seeing it get inverted. And I think so we'll call this stagger. So what I have right now is we have a world that's stagger. We don't have one that's this yet. So this is Klein. And now I believe in Klein you would actually want to see we would actually see it this way. Well, I think in my game would actually just be better to do it. Okay, so this is Klein, right? And the way we are seeing this, actually, like I say my game because we're actually writing this into it, into our world wrapping system, right? So this is like, in the end, you'll be able to play with all this stuff in the level editor. So in this one, let's continue with the red lines, right? Because what we should be seeing, right? So we would see the right. Okay. So we would see this. Oh, right, okay, so this is how what we would see. Yeah. Fuck it. Right, okay, so we'll go ahead and place it like this. So what that means is we're seeing, yeah, right. So like this is coming down in here and we're seeing the same thing being placed around. But the way that it would come down in here is actually right, so Everybody probably just thinks I'm an idiot when it comes to using Photoshop. Right. So this is what we're seeing. Yeah, I am planning on using multiple 4 spaces. Yes, that is correct. Oh, hey, Garlando Bloom. Hey, you're here. It's okay. We were actually having problems earlier with Twitch connection, but that's all fine now. We are kind of talking through the subtleties, the subtle differences between a 3 torus staggered, which we don't know what the name of it is. If anybody knows, that is cool. And then this is a Klein bottle. This is a Klein space. So, and the big difference is that, right. The big difference is this inversion of the lines. Whereas in the Klein, so if we're just in the center space, you know, if this blue and red line goes down, we would actually see it come down from the other corner, but it would actually be inverted. Whereas in the staggered space, we wouldn't get the inversion. For coder? What, 2 copies of the whole thing. It's good, it's very readable. I do think this is interesting. Yeah, I don't... I mean, I'm assuming this is a 4 coder, right? Though maybe, what if you had the central bar be the same width as that? The other thing you could do is make sure that the... No, it's fine. I was going to say move the E and the R down so that it forms a perfect line, but I think that might make the R look a little weird. It's going to make it look big on the top. Either of these you can reduce to a single larger tile. What about 2 copies of the whole thing? Meta Real World, I'm actually not sure what you're talking about. Nemiko, you do not have to understand this. I barely understand it myself. You certainly will. I think you'll, I mean, a lot of the game sort of takes you through. Like right now we're not doing any build up. We're just kind of jumping into this. The game, the whole point of the game is playing through it. You understand all this stuff in 3D space. What is this one again, Test Runner? It's this is well, I'm gonna just take a picture of this. Let me just post this on Twitter. Okay, what it means is you could fake the client space by designing something, then copy and paste the whole thing nearby, reflect the copy, and then use that whole thing into your magic endless. Okay, actually, I can't do that. We actually cannot. You need to be able to get there. Like, I can't just have this mirror thing. So what the client space is going to be is actually when you jump down, the world is inverted. So that does mean I have to design it with the inversion in mind. No, or we could invert it for you. That actually, no, I think actually that would be the best way is we invert it for you. Oh man, and what if we have client space staggered? Oh man. Somebody get Mark Tenbosch on the stream. Somebody who knows Mark Tenbosch a little better than I do. Right. Just gonna, oops. Let me just link to the stream. All right, yeah. Design-wise, yeah. Do I have a name? Going to make you eat every damn inch of this. Live tweeting. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so let me show you, like, this is tweak this stem on the yeah, I like this a little better, I think. This looks a little cleaner. I really like the C in the negative space. I think that's a nice touch. What is for coder? What? Yeah, I think this is the old one. This is the new one. Oh, I like this one, I think. No, I think, actually, you know what, maybe... I think maybe the fatter one is better just because it shows the C off better. Because this one you... Yeah. Actually, I think the fatter one works a little better. Because it shows more of the C. I think that's what Jet User was saying. Mr. Fourth Dimension. Oh, I see. Hey, Namiko. Yeah, like, I want to show you this, let's... Right. Wow. Oh, right, this level's broken right now. Yeah. All right, this level isn't currently working, but you get the idea, right? So this one, yeah, this level looks a lot cooler when it's actually working, but you can see this one is staggered, right? You can't actually, if you were to continue forward moving in one direction, you would come out. So I don't let you do that, right? So this is actually, so this is staggered. So this is where the question of the, so this world is what we have here with the staggering. Well, actually, we take out those ones, but it's, you can't see it. So, right, and we're just trying to figure out like what happens if you start messing with it like this. So, actually, now that I think about it, this would be a very interesting 2D puzzle game where you have very straightforward. You have like normal screen wrapping. And it's like, well, what happens if you can start changing the global versions of them? Ah, I see. You did it in SketchUp. Yes. Well, I've actually never used SketchUp before, so and I also think it's easier for us to start. It's easier to sort of nail it down in 2D first. So yeah. Yeah, I mean the Nemiko 96. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Like we're basically. Yeah, like in the game, all of this is gonna get automated, right? So it's like we can just throw the box off, and then those are all set. Like in our level editor, I'll show you guys runtime level editor. Like our runtime level editor basically has all that. Eventually, it's like you would want to use our level editor to show these ideas instead of like. This is like SketchUp with all the stuff we want. So, but we are faking it. That is the thing. Don't save. Garlando Bloom, I wish I could show you the new logo, because Jamie did some really good work with it. But anyway. With VR specifically, you had to adjust it. But anyway, you can see we have like this is the level editor. It's running at runtime, and you can change the world wrap settings. So you can change the distance, like how far apart you want the repetitions to be. We can change the. This shouldn't be position. This should be number of replications, and you can actually offset it. So this is what's allowing us to do the stagger. The problem right now is I actually have no idea what these values are for, so I don't really know how to use it. So we might let's just like put in some random values and see if it gets offset. Okay. Let's go into play. Okay, yeah, so you see here, we've offset it somehow, right? You can see we have the staggering. Right, so that means if I fall off, is there something? There is something beneath me, but it's quite a few repetitions down, right? It's like, the second repetition is actually here. So this is, Twisted Tours. Okay, yeah, Test Runner, I will see you around, man. Thanks for stopping by. By the way, if you're new and you're enjoying the stream, you should definitely follow, yeah, to help the channel grow. I'm curious how many people are here, because because they saw the tweet through John Blow's retweet. Anyway, this is where we do the staggering. Right now, at the moment, we don't have the rotation stuff, so we're not able to do the well, we're not able to do both the half. We're not able to do the half turn manifold or the Klein space. But okay, test runner. Oh, cool. Thanks. It's awesome. Yeah. So right now we're not able to. You still have like twice to go and a bit more. Yeah, but like main Jedi, this is like we've only been. That's fine. I mean, I'm not really worried too much about it. The movie Hypercube, I've seen Cube 1 and Cube 2. I think Hypercube is the third one. Yeah. So yeah, right now we don't have rotation, which is, like I was saying, that's what it would allow us to do the half-turn manifold and the Klein space. Eventually we will do that. But yeah, main Jedi, I'm not too worried about that. We'll get there. We'll get there. Although I do think, damn, that first follower count, it only took a month. It took another month, and I've only gotten half the numbers. I have not seen Cube A. No, wait. I mean, I have played Cube A. I have played Cube A. So no, I haven't played the third. I haven't seen the third cube. I believe Cube 0 is actually Cube 4. Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is that in Cube 2 they actually had one of the game designers. Cube 2. Cube 2 game designer? There's like a Cube 2 character game designer. He's a... No, wait, Cube 2 is Hypercube. Never mind. Video game. One of them is a game designer. Game developer Max, yeah. So, Max... Yeah. He actually made... He made a game called Relativity. How crazy is this? He was working on Relativity. A game which iZone later stole from him. Except this one is technically about variable time speeds inside the cubes. Max is killed with Julia Sewell inside a fast time room where both start having sex but simultaneously age prematurely, ending up as two floating, desiccated corpses in the earth, still mid-coitus. Of all the death in the movie, that was probably the least horrible way to go. No, I do not. I do not want to get kidnapped and placed inside a cube. Although I suppose the cool thing is if I was watching it because everyone was like, oh man, your game reminds me of Cube, and then I was watching it once, and then I was like, oh my god, he made this game Relativity, and it's actually someone sent me a screenshot of it once. I think there might be. Somebody sent it to me on Twitter. It had like a really close up. It actually. Sorry about that. The hyper happy guy, XLII, or 17, I think. No, not 17. I'm really bad at Roman numerals. Yeah, the thing is, it's actually it would actually not be a good reason to keep the name because that just goes to show how common of the word relativity is. Um, yeah, it's probably a little more like braid. But anyway, that's that. But let's go back to the Redux level. Because what I'd like to do is actually start working on... Oh yeah, so there you go. You can see we have... we're starting to get some of these, which I think look really, really great here. But how many compliments have I gotten? Not enough is the correct... Yeah, I think... I think the average is probably like twice a week. I don't. The thing is, I don't even see them, right? And I've had them for like 2 years now. But so what I like to do is actually kind of design this. So oh yeah, and Chris has fixed up the water stuff, so you can see now that this shows me like. This is green down, and this is the forward. White is the forward. I think I'd like to have him make that arrow a little bit wider. But what's nice is that the white stands out really well, so I see right away which ones are the water cubes, right? And the white arrow shows you which way is forward for it. So see, this is a good, like right away I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird because actually we should test this. That was what I wanted to test. So right now the forward of that the red water stream, it's pointing in its own down direction. I wonder if that causes some bugs. Unfortunately, Nemekos 96, I cannot show you that because that first level right now is broken. Like, whoa, yeah, there's some bug here we're getting, but this is for Nemeko 96. I'm linking you. That link is the PlayStation Sony E3 walkthrough of the game. Right, and that just shows you kind of the basics of some of the basic gameplay. But but like, because right now what we're doing is rewriting a bunch of the systems. So. So I actually can't. Yeah, if I go to level 1 right now, it's not gonna run. Oh, interesting. So it looks like it causes. That's interesting. Oh, interesting. So as it turns out, you can't have if you have it pointing in the same direction, it actually gets all screwed up. If water is pointing forward in its own down, it's all screwed up. I think the E3 Sony walkthrough is a lot better than the B-roll, just because that one that one I'm actually like talking about it and explaining what's going on. So anyway, so hopefully now that should be fixed. I think we're getting a lot of the reason why the frame rate is so slow is actually we're having a lot of problems because the interlockable system is currently in the works. So we're getting like a ton of errors due to missing components on the interlockables, but that's just because Chris is in the middle of redoing that system, and I think it should be done by tomorrow, and then that'll actually be really cool because then we'll have almost all of the mechanics in the game ready. All right, so there's our waterfall. There's our red waterfall. The it seems like Twitch only gives you adjustable quality once you are a big enough streamer. Like all, I think partners have that, and we've gotten it a few times when you have like really high viewer count, and apparently we were just getting it when the but then we changed channels. Yeah, but that's why everyone's got to follow, and then we'll get it back. But it wasn't even that much. It was twice the number of channels. But yeah, which the channel changing goes to show that viewer count isn't important to me. But yeah, you can walk on water when it's frozen. Oh shit, check that out. Okay, yeah, so that stuff doesn't roll wrap apparently. But we had like one of the giant interlockable blocks. It just didn't world wrap. But anyway, what I like to do is actually kind of design. So right now we have like this. The idea here is that we would have that we can test out all of the that we can basically test out all of the mechanics here. Oh man. Let me link. That's the oh man, that Rio Furry hasn't been back in a while. But yeah, we need to get this quality setting fixed. Oh, soon. Besides, I think the streams will get more exciting as development continues. But anyway, so we have green water, yellow water, red water, and I think if I recall correctly, things are actually orange water and purple water were broken for a while. So actually, this is gonna be. Let me see if this works. I'm gonna set up purple water. I don't know if it's going to work. Alright, let's check out purple. the fuck? Oh, right. I just confused myself with the water. But, right, so purple is working. We still have the problem with the edge detection on the water. We're not gonna worry about that right now. But anyway, this is what purple water looks like. And I think, you know what, I think we really should make them a lot darker. So I believe in Relativity utils we can adjust the color of water. So I think let's go with like a, you know, let's go with some strong colors. You know, the only thing is red. You don't want to get it, except for red. It looks too much like blood. The cheer maneuver. Hey, Meta Real World. Yeah, no, Jodorowsky's Dune is awesome. You're gonna love it. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Jodorowsky is a huge inspiration. Spiritual warriors. Those are the people you gotta find in your life. CG cheer maneuver. We don't know. The thing with yeah, I still don't know what the art style of the water is right now, but it's always good to have the option there, as you know. So like I want to say, if we decide to go with not having edges on the water, it's not because we weren't able to write it. It's actually like the reason is because we wrote it and then we decided it actually just didn't look good, and having no edges looks a lot better. I mean, part of it, I also want to. Well, that's actually a really. This might be a little bit too bright. We're just trying out all the different colors. I think red needs to be a lot brighter. Yeah, that. The only thing is, it's gonna look like blood. Oh, so I think when it freezes, it shouldn't. When it freezes, it should be opaque, not transparent. What are you guys talking about? Infinite looping gif of Willie doing what? It's also Sir William. Yeah, so the water is really cool. I think, you know, let's... William doing what? Oh, the cheer maneuver, right. Where is... I'm trying to get back to the area with all the water stuff. Okay, there it is. Hey, just in time, yeah. We're trying to work out... this whole level is really buggy. There's a lot of problems with going through walls when... Well, I think Just in Time 4T253 just started watching recently. But yeah, I've been streaming every day for... Oh, so yeah. So tomorrow, I think I'm actually going to do like an impromptu stream in the afternoon. So, like normally... So there's not going to be a game design critique stream. Normally on Fridays it's back to this hour, 8:30, but I think tomorrow I'm going to do it at like 2:30 p.m. It's not really scheduled right now, but so we're going to go back and try this again. I want to change the colors of the water and actually have it be fairly strong. I also think that this one would work better if it was like a darker purple or more orange here. Oh, you know what? Maybe I think Oh, right. Oh, yeah, and I think next week, starting next week, I'm gonna do Tuesday, Thursday in the afternoon, Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the evening. So that's gonna be just kind of going through a lot of changes right now, but it'll be okay because there's still a lot of development left. Ah, yes. But yeah, there's gonna be more development left. Yeah, we updated. I'm gonna update the offline panel. But yeah, tomorrow it'll be earlier in the day. Just kind of a quick extreme. Okay, so let's see if this right. Okay, that doesn't look like acid. The problem too is you can't really like change the that just looks like it's dirty. Too blue. Yeah, sure. I think, okay, we'll stick with this. I think this one's fine. We're trying to get down the color of all the different waters. Yeah, I am. No, I'm standing. Yeah, I have a sit-stand desk. Yeah, I guess that would be a very short window. I'm actually kneeling. I have to. The thing is, it doesn't. I can't change it while it's running. I can do this. I do the pause so that it just it doesn't move my camera. But the problem is the color doesn't change until after you switch back into the gravity. Like you need to, because it doesn't call relativity utils until you've switched gravity. But I think I really like this blue color. Yeah, I mean the frame rate is an issue. Well, that looks really great. The way the interlockable changed color. Really big fan of the gradient. I mean, I do think this makes it look really good. Wait, is this billboarded? Okay, no, it's not. This does look a little too much like the missing texture. Yeah, and I think also this is going to have a big impact once once we add sound to it. So once you get sound design, it's going to start to actually feel like a waterfall. And also when the frame rate isn't awful. Yeah, I see. Oh man, wait. You know what? Does gravity? Does this change color? Okay, you know what? We need a. Hold on a second, because we need a fade. Nah, see, you know what? You see that the green? It just turns into. You see how the water just goes from blue to white? I just noticed we totally forgot to add smooth transition. So see right now it goes straight to blue, but if you look at the floor and everything else, we're doing the nice fade in, fade out with the colors. So we actually need to do that. That's a big catch. So watercolor transition needs to be smooth, not instantaneous. Oh, awesome! Yeah, Namiko. Yeah, I'm very excited about the game. This is sort of instantaneous. It's like, I like to think of it with a lot of the physical puzzles that I really enjoyed from Portal, where you're kind of using the entire room to solve a puzzle. You're moving around, a lot of movement. You have to kind of take in the whole architecture. And then there's also, you know, combine that with sort of the pacing and non-linearity of Antechamber with the architecture of Naissance, and then a lot of the meta structures of Fez, with, you know, kind of this very careful design that Jonathan Blow uses in his work, with all the puzzles not wasting the player's time. And I would say that's very much what this game is trying to be. Twister Bow Gaming, what is a good gaming development software? I am assuming that your question is, what is a good engine? That is a very, very tough question. Quality control, hello. Yeah, we don't, so like, that's actually, Vivasser, that's actually a really good question that's something we have to answer. It's like, how does sound work in a 3 torus? How does it sound work in a staggered torus? How does it work if we have the half-fold manifold, right? Because that means that sound waves are coming back inverted. Like, does that make a difference? I have no idea. Because you would, it's like you should, because if you, like, if in the inverted world, in the half-turn manifold, you would, let's say there's like a drum set here, right? And because the world repeats, if you hit the drum set, that's a very interesting question, right? Let's say I got this drum set in front of me and I hit it. I'm gonna hear the drum come back from behind me, because there's something behind me. There's another me behind me playing the same drum. So I'll hit this. It'll be like bam, and then you'll hear the echo, it coming again, right? Bam. What I just said, I'm making sex in video. That is actually, you know, I haven't quite described it like that, but that is very close to what I want to make. Plus Naissance, quality control, Naissance. Oh, and Starseed Pilgrim. Starseed Pilgrim and Naissance. Naissance with its... and Blame the manga. Blame the manga, right? Let me... This is the other big influence. Blame. I really love the architecture in this game. Actually, we might love to try to get Lamas 5 on the stream sometime to talk, but this is and Blame manga. This is a huge. Highly recommend all of you check out Blame with an exclamation mark. Huge influence on Cairo. Big influence on Naissance. In fact, Naissance is almost. There are some things that are like shot for shot, like this. Like Naissance has this is Naissance. Naissance is actually very much an adaptation of Blame, which I love. But if you I don't know if right, like see this? You guys see this? This is in Naissance. Right, it's very much from he's hugely influenced by Blame. That's a person there, so it has a ton of these mega structures. And you can see with some of the kind of the recent with where the architecture is going now. We are changing the name. There's a name change announcement coming up soon. Yeah, so this is a screenshot. I mean, we're not going to have this many lines in the actual during runtime, just because these lines in movement don't look so great. But we're trying to. So this is like a lot of this is trying to capture the sense of scale in Naissance and Blame. And then, inside these there would be a bunch of rooms with puzzles. And there's the big kind of element from Starseed Pilgrim is that you can use the cubes to grow trees. Actually, this would be a good time to show it. I don't know if but basically, so we can use it, and main GI talks about space chem, because we are able to bend water using these cubes, right? So they have you can have this this almost design based solution to kind of get what you want. And what you can do is actually, this is a patch of soil, and when we put the cube in there, it grows. When a cube is combined with water, just in time, we were actually just talking about Cube and how in Cube 2, one of the characters is a game developer who made a game called Relativity. He has the least horrible death. So, right, and then you grow a cube, you grow a tree from that cube. And this I totally just stole from Starseed Pilgrim. But now you've got more cubes you can use to redirect water. And so this is very much where these elements start to come in, that once you sort of understand the world, once you understand the pieces, the kind of puzzles that can be made are very open, right? Because now you have a bridge in the green direction, right? And that's going to lead to all sorts of things that can open up. Hey, I'll see you later, Twitsterbo Gaming. I don't know if we actually answered his question about engines. I was gonna say it's a very long question. It's a big question. It's like you can start with Unity might be a good place to start, but you definitely have challenges you run into with using an engine. But that's sort of a longer topic. Have you ever thought of a portal gun mod in Relativity? Do you guys know Devonsoft? He's Devonsoft on Twitter, but he is the graphics programmer of Young Horses, and they made Octodad, and he suggested having a gun mod, which was the game was basically exactly the same, except in the bottom right corner you'd have a gun. Like, that's all. nothing would change. You would just have a gun blocking, the bottom right corner. Now I see the non-Euclidean light. You can change your angle. Yeah, exactly, right? So I mean, this is technically not. Everything I'm showing you here in this world is actually still Euclidean, right? Like, I know non-Euclidean has sort of become a bit of a marketing buzzword, but Euclidean just means that it follows the axioms, right? It means that, like, two parallel lines will always be parallel, and in this space, two parallel lines will always remain parallel. So actually, in real life, in the real world, we are actually, Earth is non-Euclidean geometry. So, like, you can draw two straight lines on Earth, and they will actually meet. Like, if you start from the North Pole, if you start from the equator, they will meet in the North Pole. But we will have actual non-Euclidean spaces, because we're going to have portals. And so once you start introducing portals, then then you're not. Once you start introducing portals, then you can have parallel lines cross each other. So then they start breaking it. But actually, everything. But simply changing gravity, that alone is not non-Euclidean. But yeah, definitely since like portal antechamber people use that. Did I know that to a particle of flight moving towards the Earth is flat? Are you talking about because it's moving at the speed of light and everything is, all the geometry is compressed, or not so much the geometry, but the space? Yeah, I definitely think the, you know, the water opens up a lot of possibilities, but, I like how Garlando Bloom is, he's not watching the stream. I don't know, I think I prefer the other ones. The thing is, the only reason why I don't like this one is because now you have, like, a lot of different line widths. Like, you've got the thickness of the text. This is fine, but now you have, like, that other thickness, and I think it's like, not as clean to me. I actually like the first one. But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of what the game is. We're really, really close with all the mechanics. The water is done. Like, basically, a lot of what's happening now is I need to start... well, actually, all I've been doing today is working on the blog post for the PlayStation blog. Oh, let me see the R. I think it looks a little weird. Well... The curves are off. You know what I mean? Like, it... Yeah. It looks... The slope on the right side isn't the same as on the left side, so it looks a little weird. I feel like it should... I never liked the R in Helvetica. I feel like it should be... It should be much, yeah. Yeah, it does look a bit thicker. I'm not a big fan of the R in Helvetica. Again, I wish I could show you the new logo, because, okay, it's from Arial. Yep. Right, so that's, you know, actually my background is actually in physics. And actually I worked in Italy at a nuclear accelerator lab. A linear accelerator lab a long time ago in a previous life. But yeah, so I am very, very, yeah, I'm a huge fan of physics. And also, like, so I want to approach it in a way that is, that does justice to how I feel about it. Has anyone here seen Interstellar? I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but the one thing that bugged me a lot with Interstellar was I always felt like the scientists were so, like, they didn't seem like scientists to me because they didn't. I normally am a big fan of Christopher Nolan's movies, but I thought I liked Interstellar. I just thought the scientists weren't very they just like reacted too quickly. They didn't like spend time to think and plan. Whereas if you watch 2001 Space Odyssey, like when everything goes wrong, when hell turns on the astronaut, the whole time he's just super calm, right? And I feel like he's an astronaut. Like, I don't know if you guys heard the story with Neil Armstrong. Like, he had his finger cut off later on in his life when he was working on a farm, and the dude just like picked it up, put it in a icebox, and then drove himself to the hospital and had it reattached. Like, he didn't panic or anything. And I think I felt like they were, but then like someone was telling me maybe that's sort of the point, that you know, they didn't really have the best choice of people to pick from, so the astronauts weren't totally emotionally stable. Yeah. I like this, but without the R. It just needs to be a different R. Like, what if you just had it? Yeah, but they were like they were just making a lot of silly decisions in Interstellar. Whew. It looks a little bit off balance. It's closer. I think it's just a little bit more tweaking. Yeah, I'm not really great at graphic design. I actually just had someone else do the new logo. Oh wow, check out this this orange water. Looks really neat. Not a huge fan of the color though. Start redirecting some of this water. Yep. Orange juice waterfall color. Okay, huh? Space tank. Yeah, well, no, the thing is, it's a little, like, I think orange and... there's always a lot of problem with orange and yellow looking very similar. But I think maybe we just need to lighten the orange. Oh, you know what it probably is? You know what it probably is that there's no emission value. I think there actually needs to be a very low. Yeah, I think there's no emission value in the water. Like there usually is like a 0.3 amount of water of emission, just so that the thing is actually a little bit brighter and pops out more. Hey, Ishi Taurus, how's it going? David Kilmer, that is what I was thinking. I didn't want to say it. Oh, man. Can't I use an algorithm to match the perfect orange to the wave line color? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not sure what you mean by the wave. But anyway, that's water. I think okay, it's 10:18 now, so I'm gonna actually end the stream here. Yeah, there's no stream tomorrow night. I think I might do a stream in the evening. It'll be like 2:30 to 4. And then, but so yeah, this week the schedule is a little bit all over the place. Tomorrow, starting next week though, I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the evening, and then Tuesday, Thursday, will be in the afternoon, which will be, I think, a little easier for people based in UK and Europe. Computing like a complementary color to the white lines. For the white lines? Are you talking about when it's David Kilmer asks, how did I end up doing the blending on the water? I don't know, because Chris did it. I'm actually not sure about the computing, but we'll talk about that another time. Oh right, the white lines on the water. Actually, you know what? Let's just go into it. Let's finish this up and then we'll end the stream. Yeah, and if you're new and you liked it, you should follow so we can have our viewer count go up to where it used to be. Okay. Alright, so you were talking about the white... I have the white lines in the middle, right? I do have white lines in the middle. Or are you talking about when it gets to here? What? For better contrast. Orange. Yeah, water. It is white. It is orange with white lines, like here. But what they so like all the colored lines are. Ah, okay, cool. Well, yeah. So they're always like red, blue, whatever with white lines, and then when you rotate, it becomes white with the orange lines. But it needs a bit of emission so that it pops up. It pops out more. But anyway, I'm gonna end the stream now, so I will see you guys next time.